Right, now it's time for this week's Outside. Now, my special guest was born in Newcastle. Like me, he's a Geordie and has a passion for the sport from a very early age. Now, he spent his younger years making his way into the world of athletics, excelling at running, hurdles, pole vaulting and boxing. Growing up, our mystery guest was full of ambition and made it into the World Championships twice, just missing out on the Olympics. But following a back injury that was quite devastating, my sporting hero decided to focus on boxing and eventually became a professional fighter. He then turned his attention to coaching and eventually created what millions of people now know as Boxercise, with his company training over 3,000 instructors a year. My mystery guest has taught over 20,000 people face-to-face. Could this be a record? In fact, I think he taught me. Of course, I'm joined by Boxercise instructor, owner Andy Wake. Andy.
Hi, Nana.
Hello.
Thank you very much for having me on.
It's nice to see you. Now,
Good to see you again.
All those years ago, I used to be an instructor and you taught me to box.
That's right, it was in London, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was a London thing. And at that time, because that was a long time ago, it must have been, what, 12 years ago at least?
I don't know, I'd have to look back, but it would be quite a while. But it seems to me like I've been doing this forever. It's been 31, 32 years now.
32 years?
Yes, I was young when I started.
Really?
But, a bit older now.
So what about a Newcastle lad like you? And I'll try to do my Geordie accent. Well, it was a long time ago. I left at 5.
That's one of the difficulties I found, actually, teaching on training courses, that I had to alter the way that I speak when I'm talking to people, because otherwise, if I talk in my normal accent, I'd have to repeat everything.
Is this your normal accent now?
No, this is me talking
slowly. What do your normal voice?
So the way that I would explain that I would speak is the way that a French person would speak English, so they'd speak slowly and deliberately. English to me is the second language. Geordie's my first language, and when I talk fast, then nobody understands what I'm saying.
Oh, I see what happened there.
So I speak more slowly, more deliberately, and then I don't have to say it twice.
So talk to me about sort of your upbringing and what brought you to Boxercise, because I know you've done a lot of things. You had a back injury. Talk to me about that. What happened?
Well, I was always doing boxing, always did it in the background, but athletics was my first love. Pole vault was the thing that drew me. I saw the pole vaulters doing it and I thought, I've got to try that one day. But I was very busy and the sports coaches said, no, you know, stick with sprinting, stick with hurdling. And eventually I got to go and I was hooked, so to say. And I did that and got very close to qualifying for the Commonwealth Games and suffered a motorbike injury due to my own idiocy.
Really? What happened? What did you do?
Well, as they say, smart people do smart things, stupid people do stupid things, and my actions that day spoke for themselves. I was wearing a pair of tracksuit bottoms and not much else. I did have a crash helmet, and I decided to borrow somebody else's motorbike. He lent it to me, and I rode it like an idiot and crashed it badly. And,
did you crash into something, or
a pothole?
A
pothole, and it shattered, and I just bounced end to end for, I don't know, a long way.
When you hit that pothole, in your head, did you think, this is going to hurt?
I can't actually repeat what I thought in the air, but I did think one word, and that was the only word that went through my head until finally I hit the road and got road rash.
Wow,
so,
wow.
It was a painful learning experience, but it was a learning experience. I still ride a motorbike today, but I ride it much more carefully and wearing protective gear, which is a much more sensible thing.
So you hurt your back. What did you do to your back then?
Well, the back injury was always there and was present as a result of a birth defect called spina bifida occulta, which caused too much play, if you like, in the lower spine, and it causes the nerves to be pinched. And eventually it made it impractical for me to continue with pole vaulting certainly for some time. So I was angry. I was angry at missing out on the Commonwealth Games. And I did what angry young men do. I fought. But I was channeled into the boxing club. And that way I got some good coaching and did some rubbish jobs for 4 or 5 years. And
what was the worst job that you did?
Gosh, probably strippogram.
No.
Yeah, yeah. I said that on national TV. Yeah, strippogram.
You were a
yeah.
strippogram?
I was. Not the kind that gets everything out. A strippogram that surprises people and then presents them with a box of chocolates or something like that, you know, or a bunch of flowers.
So were you scantily clad, though?
I wasn't wearing very much, yes. I was covering the important parts, but there was much to be exposed. And the worst thing was going into factories and things like that, and, you know, that being poured at, that's quite demeaning. But for a short period of time, it was quite funny. I look on the bright side of things generally, and so I did that. So, yeah, I would say that was the worst. Stacked shelves in a supermarket.
I've done that.
That was awful. I had friends, mums, who used to come into the shop, and they'd be saying, you can do better than this, you need to go to university like the other guys did. And finally, they made sense to me. Finally, they chipped away through this thick skull of mine, and I went to university, and I used boxing as a method of paying my way through university.
What did you study at uni?
Sports science.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that was the obvious thing for somebody in my position to do. My coaching career had taken off and had gone very well, and I was already the national coach. But then what happened was...
National coach for where?
Pole vault.
Okay.
For the UK.
Okay,
but
wow.
I'd reached a sticking point. I was doing very well at coaching. I did my coaching qualifications very young. And I kind of reached a sticking point. And then when I reached that sticking point, another colleague coach had said to me, if you get yourself a sports science degree, you can go to the next level, but you've reached as high as you can go for now. And it was at that point that all those things collided. And in a Homer Simpson light-on moment, I decided to go to uni, and it was the best... No, it wasn't the best decision I ever made. Asking my wife to marry me was
that's
my
very
best
sensible,
decision
because
I
she's
ever
probably watching or listening, and it's very
Yeah.
wise. Good man, good man. So you did all this. You did the sports degree. How did you get into setting up Boxercise? What was the transition?
That was really unusual, because I get accused of having some kind of magical eureka moment. It wasn't that at all. What happened was we had boxing club, and I was more experienced than the other boxers that were there, so I helped coach them, and finally we built a boxing team at Brunel Uni. The club still runs today, I'm very proud to say, though not with my involvement. And what happened was we had a lot of people that wanted to do the training but didn't want to get punched in the face, understandably so. So what happened was they would say, could we come and do some training with you after? So we just called it After Boxing Club. We didn't have a name for it. And we used that money, just 50p, £1, everybody coming in, to raise money to buy equipment for the boxing club, because we wanted because we didn't have any equipment at all. And one of the girls that came there, a young lady called Emma, she said, I like this boxing exercise. And then just in some bit of a light bulb moment again, we put the name together and it became Boxercise. That then what became a class that lots of people then came to. And then what happened after that was there were other people knew that this was popular, and they said, could you train me to do this? Now, I was working for UK Athletics as a coach educator already, and had been since I was 17. So I knew how to design that kind of program. I put it together with boxing knowledge, and came up with something to educate coaches. And it's evolved a lot over the years. But in the early years, that's how it came to be.
Wow. And so now, where is it now? Because I know you've got a lot of...
54 countries now.
54 countries?
I know, I never thought it would ever grow to be anything
You must be rich.
as big as that. No.
You're rich?
No.
What?
I wish.
It's going to make you rich. So you've got... How many people then? It must be thousands and thousands of people.
There are 30,000 plus that we've trained. There are, I think, about 7,000 or 8,000 currently teaching in the UK alone. A lot. And worldwide, there are 5 million people taking part in classes or personal training sessions involving Boxercise. And in the UK alone, it's about 2.1 million.
Wow, that's incredible. From nothing to that.
I never thought that it would have such an effect. I've never really focused on... what I focus on is just delivering a really good quality product and training people to do their job as well as they can. We get a lot of people. We get fitness instructors, sports coaches, armed services personnel, And then, you know, people as well, veterans on resettlement coming through, doing their training.
Well, you've bought some gloves, so you've got like
I
gloves.
have, yes.
So
I've
I'm
bought some fancy
back.
gloves.
I've got like pinky ones. Oh, this is nice.
Oh, they're pretty ones.
They're pinky
Nana.
ones.
I brought the nice ones. In fact, this is not because you're a lady. This is purely because these were the gloves that I had in the cardboard box.
Is it?
At home. So there was no choice in colour at all.
Can't sort of do them up once they're on.
It's always a difficulty, isn't it? Where are we going to stand?
I don't know, just here then. Come on.
This'll do it.
I'll just punch you. No, what's the... As an instructor, I already know.
In high heels, that's it. Just set your range first.
Okay, so I'll do it like that, and then...
There you go. So let's set with this hand, set with there.
No,
Right,
no,
let's have one, two. Boom, boom.
Oh,
So punch across, yeah. So this one to there and to there. That's it. Then reset. That's it. 1, 2. And then move the head twice. Always looks good if you move your head twice. Generally, there's two
Just
punches
twice,
coming back in. So 1, 2, move twice.
Let's go.
1, 2, move the head twice. And it looks like she's avoiding shots there.
This is great. This is
I must
great.
admit, I feel much more at home with the pads on talking than just sitting and talking.
So talk to me then, so very briefly, because we're running out of time, where is it going now? Because I know you've done some very exciting thing that's coming on.
We have...
About 1 minute.
We're developing our online offering. We are also... I'm developing courses at andywakecoaching.com, which are aimed at not coaches, so that those
Just
people
to help
just want
normal
stay
people
fit.
to sort of
We're
develop
also
themselves
working... no, so general fitness and getting... So that they can get their kids doing sport safely and effectively. So more for parents. Also working with Matt Fidesz Academies. And that's a very exciting development because I'm hoping that this will help because they've got a fantastic business-to-customer model. Help our Boxercise instructors become financially successful and independent. So we're working with them on that. It's very exciting.
Well, Andy Wake, listen, it's such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me on. That went really quickly.
It did, didn't it? That's Andy Wake. He's the founder of Boxercise. Really good to talk to you. Thank you. He was my outside guest. A very incredible man, isn't he?